Route into work this morning, and of course in the daylight you can see that snow is on Pikes Peak. Now Andy, I was talking to you a little bit earlier. This week is actually my 1-year anniversary of being in Colorado, and I distinctly remember last year after moving here there was no snow on Pikes Peak. Because the first snowfall, I was amazed at how pretty it was, but it makes sense hearing your forecast today because we're quite ahead when it comes to snow and rain.
It's pretty interesting when you live here long enough, you start to look at the mountains and notice those changes. And yeah, this year was a noticeable change compared to last year in terms of how much snow we got. Now, I mean, there's even snow lasting into June, which, you know, isn't that much of a surprise. This was earlier today on the Sangre de Cristos, about 20 miles east of Alamosa. We had a pretty decent convective snow shower move through, and that dropped about an inch of snow. That's already melted at this point, but it is just Colorado in June. Now, since we had a little bit of snow today, I wanted to talk about snow totals for this entire season, since hopefully for all of us here in the lower elevations, the snow accumulation is over. I'm going to knock on wood back here, but hopefully we're done in Alamosa. We had 48.5 inches of snow in Alamosa this season. That's about 17 inches above where we typically are and ranked us as the 11th snowiest season there in Alamosa. Pueblo, you saw 37.4 inches of snow this entire season, which started obviously back in September of last year. That's closing in just over 9 inches above where we typically should be. So your snow record really not that impressive, but nonetheless we had an above average snow season there in Pueblo. Colorado Springs, look at this, 54.3 inches. That's more than 20 inches above where we typically land in terms of seasonal snow totals. That brought us right up to the 17th snowiest season here in Colorado Springs. So no snow in the forecast. That's very good news. So we're pretty much done with this number. It's not going to change much more from that, but it does show you how snowy it was this past season. Tonight we are falling into the low to mid 40s across the region, upper 30s for some of those higher elevations, and by the time we get towards tomorrow afternoon, we're actually going to see those temperatures rise nicely into the mid 70s in Colorado Springs, pushing 80 there in Pueblo, probably getting to that in La Junta and Lamar, and temperatures are going to continue that warming trend throughout the rest of the week, but we do have to battle maybe an isolated thunderstorm or two for Wednesday afternoon. We're thinking this is going to be mainly confined to the central mountains and areas west of town here and west of I-25. Your futurecast shows that pretty well. We could wake up to a little bit of fog around the area, so keep that in mind. Join Chris tomorrow morning and he'll let you know all about the morning commute. And also just watch out in the high country starting about 1 o'clock. We're going to see those storms start to spark up, and they'll be moving from north to south, and they could add up to be a pretty decent amount here if you get caught under one of those storms. But for the most part, we're not looking at widespread heavy rains, and no rains really for the eastern plains here, as we have a general amount of good clear skies to work with for our Wednesday. Now by Thursday, we have that still chance for a few isolated thunderstorms, mainly confined to the high country. Your forecast, futurecast showing that we'll again wake up to nice conditions as we do typically this time of the year, and then see that cloud cover build in the afternoon. Could be a partly cloudy skies for Wednesday for Colorado Springs and Pueblo, but the mountain's going to start to see that rain shower and thunderstorm activity increase a bit as we head into the evenings. Now again, rainfall totals not going to be that impressive on a widespread scale, but even down towards Durango, some of the San Juans picking up maybe inch or two of snow and maybe about a half an inch of rain at best. So some good moisture nonetheless moving in for some areas off to the west who still desperately need it. Woodland Park, we're going from the mid 60s on Wednesday all the way up to near 80 on Saturday. Notice our storm chances not that high for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. We start to increase those just a bit as we head towards Saturday and Sunday. Canyon City, we're going to be warming up nicely, going from about 77 degrees on Wednesday to the mid 80s by Friday, and then pushing 90 by this weekend. Same story for you. We have the chance for an afternoon storm, but that threat doesn't really go up here until Sunday and Monday, even in Pueblo, as temperatures go from the upper 70s to the lower 90s. Yeah, we're actually talking about some summertime heat here. Colorado Springs also seeing a nice warming trend, and I hope you all are happy for Friday because it looks like it's going to be a nice day.